hope you stay safe in your house. I miss you a lot, to my students, and I hope you can go back like as soon as we can, okay? So I made this video to show you a little bit of the process of making a digital magazine, and also I am going to give you some tips that you can find very helpful to do this or through this process, okay? So I was thinking about, and I checked a lot of material of magazines that are printed, and also I checked a lot of online magazines. First of all, we're going to see some examples of digital magazines, and then I am going to give you 5 tips that I think are very helpful for you, okay? So the first magazine that we're going to check through this video is Letras Libres, which shows a lot of cultural facts and also a lot of literature. So maybe it's not going to be very interesting for you because this is for a grown-old public, but it's also a very good example of a digital magazine because it's very well done. And the second one, it's Vice, which is for a little bit more of a teenager public. So probably you can find articles that you are going to see more interesting for you. They talk about a lot of trendy topics, and they also talk about things that you can find very interesting, and some funny stuff also. And it's important for you to know that this magazine, you can find it in English and also in Spanish, because Vice specifically, it's a very important magazine, a digital magazine around the world, not only here, okay? And also we're going to check Cultura Colectiva, which is a magazine that it doesn't caught your attention as much as the other two, but I think it's also important for you to check another example of a magazine that probably is more simple. And well, after this, after checking the examples, I am going to show you some tips that can help you through the process of making a digital magazine, okay? The first one is, I think the most important thing is to have a good typography. This means that you need to have big letters and also to use a very legible typography, because sometimes you use like this kind of letters that no one's understand. So the thing is to make it legible for the reader, not only for you, because probably you are going to understand the information that you are showing. Which tips I can give you specifically for this part? Well, probably you can show this information to someone else on your family, and this other person, even if they don't know English, they can tell you if they understand the information that you are showing, only for the typography, only for the letters, and they can say and give you their opinion about if it's legible or if it's not, okay? The second tip that I can give you is that you need to include relevant information. This means that you're going to show concrete ideas. So you need to think a lot about this, because sometimes you want to put a lot of information. A digital magazine doesn't have a lot of information as a physical one or a printed material. Sometimes on a printed magazine you can find like 7-8 paragraphs, and on a digital magazine probably you're going to have between 3 or 4. So it's not a lot of information. This doesn't mean that they don't have enough information. The thing is that they're trying to be concrete, because as you know, a digital magazine is way more reachable than the one that you're going to buy on a news agents, okay? So relevant information, guys. Also a piece of advice that I can give you for this is reread the information and make a draft and reread the information over and over again, even if you get tired, okay? And if you have someone on your family that also knows English or a little bit, or it has notions of it, probably they also can read the information for you to know what is relevant and what is not, okay? Then the tip number 3, I think, is use colors. Not as many colors as you want, because if you use as many colors as you want, probably it's going to look like a chaos. So try to build a palette. This means that you can use warm colors or cold colors, okay? And and doesn't mean that you need to use a lot of colors. Only try to make a palette and try to build your colors as in a sequence, okay? The same with the pictures. We're going to see this after on the 5th tip. But well, let's continue with the next tip, that is number 4, and it's keep it simple. This means that you do not need to use difficult words, okay? Sometimes when I'm checking your essays, I can see that you use a lot of Google Translate and you use these very difficult words that are on a very high register. And remember that you're talking with another teenagers, or even if you're talking to me, well, I'm your teacher, I am not like the queen or something, okay? So try to use a low register, a simple register, simple words, okay? That can take you also to present the same message. It doesn't have to be very difficult words. And the last tip, that it's number 5, is use big pictures. Of course, the pictures are very, very important for a digital magazine. Even if you check through the examples that I show you, you can see that you have like a lot of pictures or very big pictures, okay? It's not more important than the information, but it's something that it has to be on a balance, okay? So if you are showing big pictures, they need to have a sequence, and they need to have a sequence, and they need to belong specifically to the article. You're showing some information, let's say that you're talking about the coronavirus. So you're going to show your information about the coronavirus and you're going to have a relevant picture. Doesn't mean that you're going to have a collage of things that doesn't belong to the information. You need to have a specific pictures for a specific information, okay? Remember that this magazine actually is a project that each of your teachers is going to tell you which topic you're going to talk about. So I am not going to, probably my students are going to work with a specific topic and teacher Lalo's students are going to work with another one, etc, etc, okay? So the thing is, at the end, we're going to have not the same project, and I know that you can get as creative as you are, because I know how creative you are, so probably we're going to have different projects, but I am showing you some tips that can help you through the process of making a digital magazine, okay? So I was thinking about also some information with the pictures. How about using some filters to make it, let's say that you want to use a warm palette on your digital magazine, okay? So you can use some filters on your pictures that can help you to give that touch of warm palette. You know that you have a lot of filters on Instagram, you know that you have filters also on Facebook, so you can use those filters. I mean, it's not necessary to have a specific app, okay? And I think that's it, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you as soon as it's possible. And thank you, guys. I think I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.